So I'm Prashant, have been building products for almost 8, 9 years, 10 years. This is, by the way, my second session with Pragmatic Leaders. I did a couple of years back, I think 2019 or 21, which was how to become product manager without MBA. That still people watch it. I started my career with Paytm. I launched Paytm QR code, Paytm payments, and then I worked in Indonesia with Tokopedia. It's now GoTo as a company. Again, build products, data science product, worked as senior product manager, build product teams. Then I moved to California again as a senior product manager, build teams in India, in California, build global products, SaaS in branch.io. Then I became a consultant to PayPay Japan. Again, it's a fintech. Again, I was consulting them on product management. I now run a company called Veda.io. It's a product management platform. So after working for 7, 8 years as a product manager, I realized that I need to build my own platform, which can help product managers to build right product faster and better. Over the course, I have mentored almost 100 plus product managers. I have been speaker on 30 or 40 webinars. I have been speaker in Dubai, Vietnam, India, Indonesia, California, Singapore. I have, just help people become better product manager or become a product manager. So that have been topic of discussion. Any question, feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. Thank you for sharing your introduction. This session will be more of an interactive session where we'll begin with the session with few questions, which we already have from our learners. And then we'll open the platform for our audience to ask their questions.
Sure.
So let's get started. And I would request our audience to keep their camera feeds open while they ask questions, or otherwise also if they are comfortable.
Yeah.
So our first question for the session would be, as an aspiring product manager without any prior product experience or knowledge, how can I showcase my product mindset?
Sure. Good question. By the way, guys, you can turn on the videos. It becomes more human and more interactive as compared to just talking to Raki. It just becomes, it's good to have faces, and we are not going to judge on the background. So that's fine. So the question is, how do I show my product mindset? Honestly, I never knew what is product mindset till I got into product management. But when I look back and I talk to the person who hired me, he said that I hired you because you had the product mindset. So this was back in 2013, 14. I was giving an interview in NIT Jalandhar. The company was Paytm. They came to hire business analysts, and they always hired product managers with tech background or with MBA. So, and they came to college and they were like hiring for business analyst. And I went to interview and I was very shitty at analytics. Like I didn't understand anything, and they were like, dude, you are rejected. And I'm like, okay. And then so the guy was, as the committee member also, who gives the chai samosa to the officer placement people. So they asked me, where can they smoke and drink chai? I took them. And then I was just telling them, hey, see, I gave him a reference that, hey, this is your mobile app and I'm a student and you are showing me home furnishing on the front page. Why don't you show me something which is more student friendly and maybe I'll use it more. And back then I didn't know it as recommendation and collaborative filtering or all those fancy terms about making click-through rate and increasing the conversion rate. I didn't know anything. I just knew that this was not a good product for me. And I'm telling them what other people are doing, how as a user I feel, and how you can improve it. Turns out that that discussion went on for 20 minutes, and then he was like, you can't do data for sure. Product karega. And I'm like, what is that? And he was like, what you just said, just in a better way. And then he said that you have a product mindset. And that's my first experience with. After that, when I joined Paytm, then he told me. And now when I look for hiring PMs, I look for that. Product mindset is not using fancy terms. It's not using anything. And honestly, product mindset has been for generations. Anyone who has ever invented or made something better, done a jugaad, made a machine, or done anything which solves a problem in a faster, cheaper, or better way is having a product mindset. Now, you don't need to become too technical or sophisticated to build a mobile app and all those things. Just figure out that something you are using, how do you feel it on a daily basis? And then how as a user you feel it, how you can make it better. You can think from anything you are looking at, a cup, anything in kitchen, anything in your uh, bedroom, in your study table. What is the use case? How can you make it better? How as a user you feel? And what was the thought process of building it? So that's where you start the mindset. Now to the specific question, because I know job hunting will be on the mind. When you are giving an interview, just go to the app or website of the company you are interviewing with. Think from three angles. From a company angle, why they built it. Think from a user perspective, how does a user feel? What is he trying to achieve? What problem he's trying to achieve? Solve. And third, from the PM perspective. If you were the PM, how will you make it better? And it does not need to be very. I think one mistake people do is they try to do a lot of things and they try to make it very big changes and revolutionize everything. Mostly in a company, incremental changes happen, which create the bigger impact, not reimagining things. Reimagination happens when you are inventing something. So, and then when you go in the call, talk from a normal perspective that, hey, in a layman language, I think you built this product for ABC reason. As a user, I felt XYZ. I think you should make 1 to 3 changes so that it uh, achieves whatever that outcome is. And that's it. No one is trying to, and that you can practice with everything. Like literally, if I'm using a Zoom, I can think of it. If I'm using a remote like this, I can think of it. So yeah, you just need to be more careful and keep on thinking every day.
Right. Thank you, Prashant, for such a detailed explanation.
By the way,
Uh,
sorry to interrupt. There are two books I recommend: Design of Everyday Things and Inspired by Marty Kagan. They are very good in product mindset. Do check them out.
Sure. So we have our next question as will any additional projects be helpful and how can I work on those along with my full-time job?
I think I'll answer the second part first. I don't know why people think that having a full-time job, you can't do anything else. I'm running a company and I still get enough time to do a course or spend time with my dog or go to gym or anything. If you are having issue in getting time along with full-time job, I'll suggest two things. First, set your priorities correct. It's not like so you sleep 8 hours, you are awake 16 hours. Um, just a second. Yeah. So you sleep 8 hours, you have 16 hours left. If your job is asking you to work 16 hours, leave that job first of all. But you are going to work 8 to 10 hours. Uh, I think you need to align your priorities and take out time. And anyway, weekends are there for you to work if you are really that passionate to make a change. So anyone who reaches out to me and say that they don't have time, I say that Elon Musk is running 6 companies and he has time. You are just doing one job. You have priority issue, not a time issue. That may sound rude or that may sound whatever, but you have enough time to work along with a full-time job. I have done it. I have seen other people do it. It's about priority. Now coming to the second part, which is any additional project will be helpful. Yes, it will be helpful. When I say it will be helpful, it's not like you do anything and it will work. You need to be very strategic about it. That you are going to apply. First of all, stop applying to all Tom, Dick, Harry companies and shooting arrows. Figure out you want to be in this domain. These are the companies you want to be in. This is the role you wanted. And then when you narrow it down into, let's say, 4 or 5 similar companies with similar job, and you are building a project in that domain. Meaning, if you're going to apply for Swiggy and your project is a fintech, side project is a fintech app, no one is going to care about it, right? It's you not being very strategic. You are shooting arrows in the dark. Ke kuch bhi hit ho jaye chalega. You have to be very strategic that I'm going to apply for fintech companies and I'm going to build a fintech app. Now, in fintech app, what fintech app you use? What is the problem you face in that fintech app? Go write a PID for that. And as a side project, you just need a mock-up. You don't even need a functional app. Functional app is needed when you are a startup and you need to raise funds. You just need to create a mock-up, PID, and present it. Hey, Razorpay, I thought buy now, pay later could be something which could be there. And this is the project I have done. This is what I understand. This is how it can add value to you. And this is, I built it. Then you will have a conversation, not like, hey, Swiggy, I'm building a TikTok alternative. They'll be like, what do I do with that? So being very strategic of, first of all, very careful of your time, and then very strategic which companies you are chasing, and then doing a side project for that. And if you want to know how to do side project, there is bubble.io, there is enough, what do you call it? Indie hacker communities, there are no code solutions which you can Google. And there's this one, skip the line. Just a second. Oh yeah, sorry, wrong link. Yeah, so that's it. If I don't have any experience as a PM, what type of content do I add in my portfolio? Would it be better to focus on a product build, MVP, VID, or product breakdown? Honestly, you need an icebreaker. As I said, you don't need to add content to your portfolio. You need to add relevant content for the company you are applying for. If you have done a breakdown, you have built an MVP, or you have written a PID for a fintech and you are applying for a fintech, it makes sense. So the question should not be what type of content do I add? Question should be, okay, what will make more sense? So I'll say it depends on the company you are applying for, or type of companies you are applying for, or domain you are applying for. Yeah. Next question.
Right, very well said. The domain, is very important while you apply and create your projects. So our next question is in similar lines. I don't come from a tech background, so it is even more difficult for me to build a product. Will this be a challenge for me to transition into a product role?
So to that question, first of all, if you don't come from a tech background, that's why we have no code solutions like Bubble. They don't need tech. So there's no blocker for you to build a MVP or a side project. And anyway, as I said, you don't need to build a working mobile app or something. You need to write PID, again, no tech. You need to build a prototype, again, no tech. You need to do user research, again, no tech. You need to validate your idea, again, no tech. So tech is not needed to build a side project. And even if you need it, you can outsource it. You can get no code developers. You can check out Bubble or Glide or other no code apps. So that is there. To the first part uh, uh, of you don't come from a tech background, that's a problem because it's like working in a butcher shop if you are vegetarian, right? It's not a good place to be in. So learn tech. When I say learn tech, don't learn how to code, but there is enough books. Uh, I'll share one tech simplified, which is there. Uh, so this is one book. There are enough courses. I actually recently did a course with someone on LinkedIn. He's Vishan. He's an engineer who teaches uh, tech for product people or non-tech people. Follow him and just go to code.org or something like that, where you can just go and learn it. You just need to learn basics. What is front end, what is back end, how does an API work, and very simple things. Uh, if you don't learn that, even if you get into a product manager, you can't grow your career as a product manager if you don't understand tech. And there's a difference between understanding and uh, writing code.
Right. So basic understanding of tech is very necessary
Yes.
to be in this domain.
Yeah. By the way, I'm from a non-tech background. So I'm a chemical engineer by degree. I have never done it, but I spent enough time because we all have access to YouTube. We all have access to Google. It's about going and searching how code works, how basics of computer programming, and that's it.
Absolutely. So our next question is, what kind of a portfolio should I build based on my past experience, work experience?
Uh, I'll I'll break down into two parts here. Number one is what kind of portfolio should you build on your past experience? Doesn't matter. Like no one literally uh, it comes down to two part. One is what type of company you want to go in, not what is your past experience, right? So if you are if you have experience in food delivery as a, let's say, social media manager, and you are applying for fintech, again I come back to the original thing which I said. What is the point? So it should not be based on your past experience. It should be based on your future aspiration. This is my aspiration, and this is the product I'm going to build for that. This is the domain, this is the company, this is the type of product I want to work on. And the second part is, if you have very solid uh, past experience, let's say you have worked on a, I'm just saying that you were customer success manager in MoEngage, which is a marketing automation company. You should not try to go to a shopping app. You should try to stay in a SaaS company because you understand the cycle. So, and then your portfolio of product should also be in that similar state because you are changing your role. If you change your industry, your role, and your career, a lot of changes in one go, not going to work out. Better way, change your uh, career and change your uh, job first in the similar domain which you are working already, and then maybe slowly shift to another industry, because you will, the industry knowledge or domain knowledge will be helpful if you have it.
Sure. Thanks, Prashant, for taking these questions, which we already had. Now we'll open the platform for our audience to ask their queries. Some of them have already posted in the chat box. Urmila, hi, you have already given a question. Would you like to say yourself?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi, Prashant. Thanks, Raki. I have two questions. So I recently changed my job into a BA, which is into inlines as product management. However, I'm still looking out for PM roles. So I just wanted to know, how do companies, if say within a month or two, if I crack a PM job, so will companies rate me as bad because I'm changing, organizations frequently?
Um, see the I'll why did you take the job then? Like, why did you take the job?
Okay, it was into a similar product domain that I was working into. And the next thing was I wanted a better salary hike. Yeah.
So now what has changed from the joining till now? Like, uh, because that will be question. You just joined 3 months back. What has changed? Is this you suddenly want to become a product manager, or that was already in your plan?
Okay.
So why I'm asking this is because company will judge, maybe not, depends on the company, but they will ask these questions and you should have a story or answer why you did it and now why are you doing it. So I did a very short stint at Airtel. I left in 6 months because it did not align with what I wanted professionally.
Okay.
But that's my answer. I thought Airtel will be a bigger brand than Paytm. I joined it. I didn't like the corporate culture. I left it. And I wanted to work with startups. For them, that's not a problem. Now, depends what type of company you are going. And based on that, it could be a challenge or not. But you should have a reasonable answer uh, about what you want to do and why you are doing it.
Okay. My next question is, so as a new PM, if I land a new PM role, how often are these jobs offered remotely?
Remote jobs are enough. Like, there are enough remote jobs in the domain. But I'll again say, you, I don't, not to offend anyone in the there, but beggars can't be choosers, right? So why I'm saying this is, if you keep on filtering down everything and you are left with very limited choice, out of that you are trying to choose, it's not going to work very well. So you need to have non-negotiables and negotiables. Meaning, is remote a negotiable for you or not? Is the title or product management role is uh, mandatory for you? Tomorrow, if you get a job as a product manager and you are not going to, they're going to offer only in office and you want a remote job, why are you applying for that company? They will have it in the filter, right? In the job description, they will have mentioned it. So you should not be applying to that job anyway.
Okay, got you. Thanks.
Hey, Prashant, hi. One specific question. Again, you've already spoken about something similar, but I come from a marketing background. Okay, I'm having around 15 years experience in marketing. Now, I tried to give one interview sometime back related to product management. But the first question which they would ask me is why you do not have a background in product management. Why are you planning to shift into this right now? Obviously, I've given them like a satisfactory answer that even though I'm in marketing, which I understand the personas and I understand the requirements in the market, and it's only like I'm doing a backward integration and not completely shifting towards a new role. Now, keeping that aside, what I wanted to ask you is, since you talked about a little around how or what kind of side projects can we build, right, along with our full-time job. Now, I'm unable to pick and choose which kind of project I need to look at. Are there any sources where sample projects are there which we can look through and try to decide and build on one specific project related to a domain?
Got it. So I'll
See, the only reason why I'm asking you this is, like you said, right? Like you rightly said, beggars are not choosers, right? So I don't want to limit myself by doing something which is around fintech and not able to get something which is coming around martech or HR tech, whatever it is, right? So are there any curated, is there a source we can find curated projects which we can look at and probably pick something from there?
So let me actually answer this from a other side, where I have interviewed people who have 10 plus years experience and they are switching to product management. The challenge is the salary. When I say salary and the team setting, why that is a challenge? You have 15 years in experience, so you will have a certain salary benchmark below which you won't come.
Yeah.
But there are 22 more people in this chat who might be starting out their career, and they are also coming at the same level. Now, why would I hire you and not them? Okay, you have professional experience, but I need a product manager who is going to do junior work. I don't need a lot of. So that's first part. Second part is the team fitting. When I say team fitting, definitely you have a lot of experience, but I'm going to have a 4-year experienced person manage the junior PM. Now that becomes complicated situation that a 15-year-old is reporting to a 4-5-year-old experience. And then you are trying, as a company, you try to avoid such complications because there's enough talent pool out there in the market that I can satisfy my needs with someone else without getting into this complication. And that is nothing to do with you. That's the worst part. It is basically a company having enough options to choose someone who's fresher, cheaper, will fit in the team structure, and I avoid all the complication which comes with you. So in that situation, how do you create value? I'll say that with your experience in marketing, try to go out and join a company which is starting in marketing domain as a startup. Tell them that, hey, I come with marketing experience, so I understand the persona, I understand the use case, I understand this, that. If you get me, I'll be able to create value for you. Right? So that way, I think you will be able to justify and create your own space. And I'll suggest that only, because otherwise it's very tough to crack into. But if I'm a startup who's just starting out, I have 2-3 people, I'm looking for my first PM who's going to work with me. So I'll probably give you a shot. You might have to compromise on salary in that case, but at least you'll get your break into PM. You can go to angel.co and look for such tools.
Okay. Sure. But again, is there any curated source where we can go and look for sample projects?
As I said, sample project, there won't be any, because it's, again, you'll need to go to angel.co, find the founders who are starting up, or just check any marketing startup which is recently funding on Google. and then try to reach out to them.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Any other question?
Hi Prashant, this is Gautam.
I got it.
And I work as a product owner, and my experience is in non-SaaS based products. And when I look out for opportunities, most of the opportunities these days are in SaaS companies, and they expect that experience. I want to understand what are those key things or concepts from the product side, or the from this SaaS product side, and how are they different from non-SaaS products, and what are those things that I need to be prepared for these interviews?
Got it. So you are product owner in non-SaaS company, and you are now looking, but when you are applying, you are finding only SaaS companies.
A lot of them.
Why are you going for a SaaS company?
I think these days there are a lot of products which operate in SaaS-based SaaS environment, and
But
opportunities are showing up there as well. So,
but that's not the right approach, I'll say. Reason being, it's very hard for me to believe that there are not enough B2C product management opportunities. And you transitioning just because you think uh, opportunities are there more could be a wrong approach. Reason being, you are losing your experience then. I'm not saying that's impossible. I can answer that how you can do it, but I'm saying that you are losing your experience. What happens anytime is that, for example, you might be an athlete. Let's say you have been playing cricket for 10 years and you are an athlete. Good thing. But if you go to just suddenly play football, which is also a sport, you need to be athletic for that. You will lose the momentum and the experience you built as a cricketer. Now, there will be certain muscles, certain uh, hand, motor coordination, which will be helpful, but still you will be a junior person there. And there are very rare scenarios you should do that. I mean, if you had a very solid reason for moving to SaaS product, I would have said, sure, this is there. But if it's not like B2C is dying, B2C is growing as also. So I'll say that unless until you have a very solid reason, you should not look for SaaS companies. Reason could be that I want to build a SaaS product in future, or something like I want to explore that side, or whatever that is. But if you don't have that, I'll say stick with B2C. Now, coming to the second part, that if you have made up your mind and you still want to do SaaS, I'll say that there are certain communities related to SaaS. Join them, understand what is a SaaS product, and then I'm sharing few resources. Yeah. Then once you have understood how a SaaS product differs from a normal B2C, I also wrote a Medium article. You can search on Medium Prashant, B2B versus B2C. You will understand the differences. And then maybe building a micro SaaS could be a good thing. There are enough resources on how to build a micro SaaS online. It could be, there are boilerplates and free ways to do it, and you can try that out. That will help you.
sure, Prashant. Yeah. Thank you.
Any question?
Any questions, please?
Yeah, hi Prashant, this is Surya here. I have a work experience of 15 years as a QA, in mostly in banking and mortgage. I started with the product management course with Pragmatic Leaders, and for portfolio, I heard you in the beginning, like whatever process and tips you said for portfolio or creation. My question regarding that is, like when we have a portfolio, like say 2 or 3 projects, then where should we keep it to showcase as a URL in the resume? Should it be a separately different website, or a blog post, or a, let's say, GitHub URL, or what is the best one?
So I'll say you can have it anywhere, like if you have a normal Notion page or your website. The idea is that it should be publicly accessible, so that if someone sees the resume, they want to try it out and check it out, they can do it. So make it public. There are a lot of Notion to portfolio websites, like Potion.so, and I'm forgetting the name. There's one more which launched yesterday. Uh, 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 I'll try to find it and share with you. But the idea being, having a website obviously looks better. That's it. Does it help you in any way? No, but what it helps you is that I think someone has put effort. So that automatically increases the chances.
Okay, and what should be the ideal number of projects in a portfolio? Like 2, 3 should be good.
Yeah, 2, 3, but in depth. Like when I say depth, you should know everything about it, as compared to having hundreds of projects and nothing feasible in it, nothing to talk about.
Okay, thank you.
Hey Prashant.
Hey,
Prashant, why Zeta.io does not have a career page on your website?
because we are currently not hiring. That's
Okay.
the simple reason. We actually don't hire unless needed, meaning we reach out to people whom we know that we want, instead of having an open page. We keep a small team, and uh, that's why, yeah, that's the only.
If I like to apply for Zeta.io, then how can I go about it?
Firstly, we need to have a job opening for that. If
Okay.
we don't have a job opening, then
Hey,
it
then how will you know? Like if there is no publication or something like that, then how
so
will you?
whenever we do a job opening, we only post it on LinkedIn.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But
And how big is your team in the
we are
product team?
27 people right now. Uh, yeah, 27, mix of engineering, product design, marketing, and business. So yeah, we work out of Bangalore. We are in-person people, not remote. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's great. Okay, Prashant. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think just, I don't know how many people know Veda.io. So I'll just a context. We are building a product management software out of India. Actually, we are the only company out of India which is building a product management platform. It competes with likes of Product Board, aha.io. What we basically allow you to do is do end-to-end product management at one place, meaning collecting the request, planning it out, building OKR, defining your goal, making roadmaps, writing PID, creating Jira tickets, publishing release note, doing user research, all.
It is portrayed as a product management company only, right?
Yeah,
With the clients like Cart24 and all that.
yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Any other question? Happy to answer. Otherwise, yeah.
In case you're comfortable posting your questions in the chat box, you may do so. We'll read for you.
I think no, but yeah, I'll share my LinkedIn in chat if anyone doesn't want to ask right now or doesn't have in anything in mind and they might have in future. Here's my LinkedIn. I'm most active here. I'm not very active on other social media channels, but yeah, here's the link where you can reach out. Yeah. Perfect. But yeah, let's stay connected. If anything which I could be of help and you want help with, happy to answer. And thanks a lot, Raki, for having me here.
Yeah.
Again, it's second time with Pragmatic and great team, great community. I've known Talvinder for a while now. But yeah, all the best, guys.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you for sharing interesting insights on building portfolio. I'm sure the resources you have shared with our audience, they'll refer them and will learn through it. We truly appreciate your advice and thank you for making to the session.